One Zambia, one nation. A very warm welcome to Zanis News. With me, Trust Bemba. Top stories. Government calls for reinforcement of security at Kansenseli Gold Mine. Chinsali Nakondo Road rehabilitation works progress. Luapula Province flags off distribution of desks. And Northwestern records over 13,000 teenage pregnancy cases. The news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has arrived in the Federal Republic of Germany, where he is expected to participate in the 5th G20 Compact with Africa Siwa Conference. President Hichilema is attending the conference following the invitation extended to him by the Federal Republic of German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. State House Chief Communications Specialist Clayson Hamasaka says the president's invitations aligns with his ongoing pursuit of economic diplomacy aimed at attracting trade and investment opportunities for Zambian citizens as part of his economic policy reform agenda. In a press statement issued to Zanis today, Mr. Hamasaka said Zambia is being invited for the first time owing to its recent economic transformation reform agenda and has expressed interest in joining the Siwa initiative. He further disclosed that the president will, on the sidelines of the conference, hold bilateral talks with the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, World Bank President Ajay Banga, and hold engagement with actors in key economic sectors, including the Association of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises. And government has called for the urgent reinforcement of security measures at Kansenseli Gold Mine in Mululunga District. Provincial Permanent Secretary Glanson Katambi says he will engage the Ministry of Defense to ensure that restoration of the closed-circuit television CCTV camera is expedited in a bid to enhance security at the mine. Colonel Katambi has expressed concern that porousness at the mine leaves it vulnerable to illegal mining activities, which have remained a thorny issue. Details in this report.
He has been led on a conducted tour of the Kansenseli gold mine by the Zambian National Service, who are custodians of the mine. The mine, whose operations were halted in 2021, has both first-grade gold and the second-grade. Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary Colonel Glanson Katambi feels more needs to be done to safeguard the gold, which is a national asset.
I'll ask the permission of the minister in charge, the Defense Force, to allow us
to do some remedial work,
to come and install only a CCTV. Just that particular component, that's all.
The permanent secretary is also concerned with the porousness at the mine.
My worry is that this place is exposed.
It's vulnerable.
It's very vulnerable. Because the reason is that there's that fight between the locals and the government.
The locals want to
Okay, so they want also to come and have a feel.
The local authority has made the following appeal.
So my major appeal to the head of state, the Minister of Mines, and all those that are in cabinet is to see to it that the mine is opened on time. The state can benefit from this mine because the wealth that is here is not something to play with. It's gold, first-grade gold.
The Zambia National Service says it is equal to the task.
The security of the mine, I can assure the PSA that the mine is in safe hands, and I can assure the mine, the PSA, that everything, sir, when we took over, is still intact. There's nothing that has been tampered with.
Florence Zanis in Mwanawasa District, Northwestern Province.
Meanwhile, Indy Energy Company Limited has set up an investment plan of 20 million United States dollars to build filling stations in all the 10 provinces in the country. Company Managing Director Evans Mauta said this when the Industrial Development Corporation Chief Executive Officer Conway Mulea and his delegation visited the company to appreciate its operations. Tovin Gombe now reports.
The Indy Energy Company Limited, which is now operating as an oil marketing company from being a refinery company, is now planning to venture into opening up filling stations to improve on its market prospects. Indy Energy Company Managing Director has informed the Industrial Development Corporation that within its initial stages, the company has already been awarded a contract by the First Quantum Minerals for the supply of diesel and plans to penetrate into this market.
Exploring the prospects of venturing into retail market by opening service stations. I would like to say that we did a market research. We brought in a specialist in the development of fuels, ExMobil. Cost of building a filling station like a plaza on the highway will be approximately 1 million. It is estimated that we do 20, we can put a budget of 20 million. That is, we're saying to a province. And depending on the consumption loading of a province.
Industrial Development Corporation Chief Executive Officer Conway Mleya and his entourage toured the Indy Energy Company and urged management to ensure they have a strategic reserve of fuel for the benefit of the country and the region.
It is something which I believe the board is active to, and which I believe we are working on. And it pleases me to see that with the foresight of those activities. So it is important also that as you build your strategy, you don't forget the other aspects which you already talked about, which are the lab services, which are critical to the quality of products we receive in the entire region. So I commend you for the recognition of being a center of excellence for the entire region with the investments that you have put in the lab that is here. So I can only encourage you to continue along that path. That center.
The Indy Energy Managing Director, Evans Mawuta, also notes the need for being self-reliant through having storage facilities as an oil marketing company.
I need a depot where I can use it as an import to store and distribute internally, or at least if we can have this Indy refinery here as a seed depot, we can use that as a sales depot. We can bridge between, depending on where the market is. Yeah, we can use bridging, which is a standard practice in this industry. So we can bulk import here and redistribute via trucks, which is known as bridging to Lusaka and then distributing to the retail. Yeah, so that too. So we are still.
The full-scale operation of Indy Energy Company as an oil marketing will help the country to have proper strategic reserves of fuel to ensure the country's industries are ever running. Tovini Ngombe, Zanis, Ndola.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly has called on female parliamentarians and civil society organizations that support the plight of women to strengthen collaborative efforts to foster gender parity agenda in the country. Ms. Muti was speaking during this year's Zambian Women Parliamentarian Caucus Annual General Meeting in Chongwe District. Details in the following report.
These are female parliamentarians from various political parties and their counterparts from civil society organizations that attended this year's Zambian Women Parliamentarian Caucus ZWPC Annual General Meeting. Among the pertinent issues which were tabled at the event include issues of gender equality, gender-based violence, and women empowerment, among others. Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Nelly, who graced the event, echoed the need for the caucus to advocate for more female representation in Parliament.
Political will comes and goes. We can't bank on political will. What we need is a legal framework which will be able to protect our interests to ensure that we have affirmative action in the Constitution. We need to talk because now there is freedom of expression. We're demanding freedom of expression. We are demanding democracy. Let's use our voices to push for agendas that are going to propel the country to even higher heights. And I believe that affirmative action will push this country to even higher heights by ensuring that we have women participating in decision-making positions.
ZWPC chairperson Princess Kasune Zulu commended the speaker for supporting the activities being undertaken by the caucus.
This is how she attaches so much importance to the issues of women, the issue of wanting to make sure that Zambia, the cases of other countries will become our reality, the gender parity issues. She has been spearheading the issue of the caucus becoming committee.
And the host parliamentarian Sylvia Masebo called for involvement of male parliamentarians in advocating for increased female representation in parliament.
I want to favor the idea that maybe what we need to do in meetings such as this is to carry the male MPs so that they begin to understand and also to appreciate that it's not that the women want to replace them, but accept that the women want to partner with them, because through that partnership, I think together we can do better for our country.
Meanwhile, the civil society movement urged government to re-establish the Ministry of Gender.
We want to be represented at the table, the highest decision-making body, where decisions and policies are made in this country, and that is in cabinet. So we want a political head in the Ministry of Gender to make sure that when cabinet is meeting, is it every week when they meet, gender issues are on the agenda.
Sheila Makosa, reporting for Zanis in Chongwe District.
Director spokesperson in the Ministry of Information and Media, Henry Kapata, has expressed happiness on the progress made on the Chinsari-Nakonde Road Rehabilitation Project. Mr. Kapata says government remains committed to ensure that the road project is completed. Henry Rumpa has the rest of the story.
An economical road which has attracted government's intervention towards the rehabilitation after many years. This is the Chinsari-Nakonde Road project, which is almost in its completion stage. And director spokesperson under the Ministry of Media and Information is impressed with the contractor who has embarked on the component of social corporate responsibility of the project.
The project itself, we have seen massive improvement, and we are talking about Lot 1, which has gone up to about 103 kilometer stretch from the initial 210 up to Nakonde, but for now up to Isoka, slightly over 95% done. Massive thickness of the, we are not professionals, this is you engineers, you know about it, but we have seen massive thickness of the tar, which will take some test of about 20 years.
The Road Development Agency RDA says the project has been expedited.
Thickness of the asphalt has taken into consideration the traffic of volume which we have for trucks which have been which is going to be using. As a result, the design has to take that weight of the traffic. So as a result, that's where we have now a 75 as the asphalt base, then a 50 on top, which we are calling as wearing cost, which is so in total the asphalt is about 125.
Mr. Kapata also appreciated the construction of truck parks in Nakonde District that aims on reducing congestion levels. Henry Lumpa Jr., Zanis in Nakonde, Muchinga Province.
More in the news. Kalomo Secondary School in Southern Province has become the first learning institution to be connected to internet service by Starlink since its inception in Zambia. Minister of Science and Technology Felix Mutati officiated at the handover ceremony. Details in this report.
Following the introduction of computer studies in the school syllabus, it is imperative that learners are given the necessary apparatus for them to actualize their academic endeavors. It is in this vein that the Electro-Technique Solution donated a Starlink internet kit to Kalomo Secondary School to assist learners in this aspect. The handover ceremony of the kit was graced by Technology and Science Minister Felix Mutati at Kalomo Secondary School.
The first district to have the opportunity for connectivity, the first in Zambia to say we are going to equip the kids with the tools that they need to succeed. We want to make Kalomo a center of excellence.
In making the donation, Electro-Technique Solutions representative says internet services should not be a privilege to learners but a right to advance pupils' academic performance.
With this Starling Kit, we are opening the doors to a world of knowledge and opportunities. Our students will have access to a wealth of educational resources, connect with the global community, and prepare themselves for a future that is definitely increasingly digital. In this era, access to information should not be a privilege but a right.
And Southern Province Education Officer Grace Nosikumuya is pleased of this donation, with ZICTA also giving 20 computers to the school.
Today, we are grateful, and we know that the gift will go a long way to improve learning in the...
The internet service connectivity is to run for a year without subscription charges, which has elated pupils at the school.
We sincerely acknowledge the generosity and social responsibility. We wish to appeal for more such donations to cater for the ever-growing learner population as a result of the free education currently being offered. We assure you that we will make good use of the internet and the computers that you have provided us.
In the advent of modern technology, learners should be provided with such tools to realize their full potential. Zanis reporting in Kalomo, Southern Province.
Still in education news, government has procured 20 computers and optic fiber connection for Casia College in Pemba District. Minister of Technology and Science Felix Mutati, who is on the familiarization tour of the district, says the computers and internet connectivity will enhance training in information and communication technology. Details in this report.
Nestled in the heart of Pemba in Southern Province, Casia College, long renowned as a secretarial training institution, has recently expanded its curriculum to include ICT courses, leading to a huge demand for the college's limited computer resources.
We do have a few challenges here and there in running this particular department. One of them is insufficient number of computers. Secondly, also, we are not connected in terms of internet here. We are using Xamarin, but our bandwidth is quite limited. It is just limited to the computer lab itself.
To address this challenge, government has provided the college with 20 additional computers and optic fiber, yet to enhance its internet connectivity. The Minister of Technology and Science, Felix Mutati, has made this announcement during his visit at the TVET institution to witness firsthand the challenges faced by the college.
The PS would deliver to you, Principal, 20 functional computers. On top of that, because computers on their own don't work and create miracles, the PS will also deliver fiber optics so that you are connected to internet.
In addition to the technology upgrade, the minister also pledged to complete the construction of the college library, a project that has stalled for over a decade.
My PS will deal with the resolution as a first step to have the library completed.
This development has cheered management and students at Casia College.
With this visit by the Minister, Honorable Minister Felix Mutati, has given us 20 more computers. We are grateful because it is going to enhance the training of ICT. The Minister has given us optic fiber cable connection, meaning we are going to be connected fully and we are not going to have these problems of internet.
We are indeed very grateful for this gesture. Your presence here today gives us an assurance that government is concerned about the education of its youth.
Chintu Nangamba, Zanis in Pemba, Southern Province.
The Department of Education in Pemba District has held an academic symposium for girls under Keeping Girls in School KGS initiative. The event, which brought about 350 girls from 28 schools, is aimed at promoting academic excellency among girl children. More in this report.
Despite having access to education, girls under the Keeping Girls in School initiative, KGS, under the Ministry of Education, still face challenges that hinder their academic progress. The Keeping Girls in School initiative, which provides bursaries to vulnerable girls from social cash transfer households, recognizes these challenges such as poverty, teenage pregnancy, and early marriages.
More Zambian girls than boys fail to transition from primary to secondary education, thereby increasing the risk of low educational attainment, sexual violence, child marriage, teen pregnancies, and HIV/AIDS.
To address these challenges, the Ministry of Education has organized an academic symposium in Pemba to enhance academic excellence among the girls. Pemba District Administration has assured the girls of government support.
Government appreciates most of the challenges which you girls go through. That's why government has come with some initiatives to support a girl child in order for a girl child at least to excel in school.
The ministry has put greater importance to protect you as girls by providing access to education, by giving us small things that we need through KGS.
Motivational talks and KGS success stories were shared during the symposium.
The numbers of those who have gone for tertiary education is very small. Why? Are you ready for marriage at grade 12? Why don't you want to utilize the opportunity to go to college, tertiary education using KGS?
The good part about KGS, they don't want girls to start engaging themselves in dating activities.
You can do it. Do everything possible for you to achieve your dream.
Empowering a girl child with education for self-sustainability was the theme of the symposium. Chintu Nangamba, Zanis in Pemba, Southern Province.
Still in the news, Luapula Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Prudence Chinama has flagged off the distribution of over 5,000 desks to schools in the province. Ms. Chinama has reiterated government's commitment to ensure learners have desks in all schools. We have more in this report.
The Ministry of Education in Luapula Province has flagged off the distribution of over 5,000 desks being rehabilitated in the province under its funding to rehabilitation centers in some schools. The 6 current rehabilitation centers being used are Samfya, Chelenge, Lubwe and Kawambwa secondary schools respectively, as well as Mwense and Maali Trades training institutes.
Be part of a team. Yes.
Because by doing that, we are going to maintain the standard.
Yes.
Because now, I would just want to know, in comparison between using the local wood and this one, the durability.
Flagging off the event and officiating the occasion, Luapula Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Prudence Chinama reiterated government's commitment to ensure learners have desks in all public schools.
By December 2023. What we are witnessing here today is an effort by Maali Trades Training Institute and the Ministry of Education to help fulfill this declaration. The 3,218 and the 1,714 desk frames, which are going to be rehabilitated at Maali and Maali Trades Training Institutes, respectively, will help reduce the current shortfall in the province.
Flowing, they should go to the children in the province much as they are being worked on. This cause that has brought us here of producing desks for you to sit properly is meant to create a conducive environment for you learners so that you can learn well.
Maali Trades Training Institute is grateful to be recognized as one of the centers to deliver and undertake the desk rehabilitation project. I wish to indicate that most of our students in carpentry and metal fabrication are positively benefiting from this project through skills and also entrepreneurial acquisition.
The move has been welcomed.
My parents, Maali Trades. Let us have temple, don't government, Isoka
District.
Still on education news, but now in Choma, Minister of Science and Technology Felix Mutati has commended Maali Trades Training Institute in Choma for its innovativeness in skills development curriculum that has earned the institution the award of Center of Excellency status. Mr. Mutati was speaking during the award ceremony in Choma. Details in this report.
Key drivers of government's youth empowerment agenda
This is evident from the increased skill training opportunities government has opened up for young people through the Enhanced Constituency Development Fund. St. Maali Trades in Choma is one of the institutes offering students hands-on practice. Minister of Science and Technology Felix Mutati is impressed with the enrollment system here.
I was amazed with the balance between boys and girls, because ordinarily you think anything called machining should be done by the boys. But here at Maali, I saw a young girl controlling a big machine and saying, Minister, this is what we do here. This job I can do just as good as the next boy.
St. Maali has also attained Center of Excellence status, a development that has cheered the minister.
You have the ingredients of being a Center of Excellence. The Center of Excellence is about the students doing the correct thing and giving the output.
At the same occasion, Taveta has handed over learning materials to the institution.
I can assure you that this board will continue to provide the leadership required to drive the big economic vision anchored on skills development. Our commitment to promote skills, quality skills, the board wishes to hand over some learning materials covering 6 programs to you to hand over to St. Maali as you hand over the certificate of recognition.
Both management and students here are grateful to government for the continued support.
I would like to thank our beloved and very understanding hard-working government for supporting our institution in the previous of more modern workshop machines, training equipment.
We worked hard to be well. And we're so grateful that out of all those things, you have also been able to provide this institution with the latest and state-of-the-art equipment.
Kalunga Msoda, Zanis News, Choma District, Southern Province.
We take you back to Kapata Province, where Provincial Public Health Specialist Christopher Dube has called for concerted efforts to curb the escalating gender-based violence GBV cases on the Kapata. Speaking during multidisciplinary training program in Dola, Dr. Dube stressed the need for government and its stakeholders to continue collaborating to have effective change in the fight against GBV. Here is a report.
The Zambia Center for Communication Program, Kwatu Knowledge, and other leading organizations have held a 5-day multidisciplinary workshop on the Kapata Province on how to manage gender-based violence GBV cases. The workshop has drawn different stakeholders from different government departments from Masaiti and Ndola. The meeting will help various departments to integrate when dealing with GBV cases.
The challenge is most of these perpetrators of gender-based violence do not change, no matter how many times they reconcile, but the same cases will keep coming until in some cases you have a few deaths in the process, or a few people who have their lives disabled as a result of this gender-based violence. The worst of it, of course, is the sexual violence, which we believe as a team from Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, from Home Affairs, we should be able to mitigate and find solutions of reducing this scourge in the community.
November is a month of 16 days of activism, and the meeting is one of the ways of sharing awareness about GBV.
Is just to enlighten our different partners in the management of sexual and gender-based violence, and also to establish referrals and linkages so that the people that we are managing for sexual and gender-based violence do not suffer the embarrassment of re-victimization because they are not appropriately referred and properly managed. We agree with MISA that during the month of November, we also have what is referred to as 16 days of gender activism. And so we tailored these trainings to be at the prelude of the launch of the 16 days of sexual and gender-based or gender activism week.
Traditional leaders have been brought on board to fight GBV.
And it is good that we are actually going even into the rural areas where we are now seeing a lot of this happening as well. It is not only happening in the urban setups, but in the rural setups. And it is good that our traditional affairs have also been brought on board so that they can be able to encourage our communities out there in the villages, in the traditional setups, that gender-based violence is real and that there are solutions to the problems that the people face out there.
Nelly reporting for Zanis in Dola.
Northwestern Province has recorded over 13,000 teenage pregnancies from January to September this year. Acting Solwezi District Commissioner Anthony Mfulwe, who was represented by the provincial adolescent focal point person Charles Mlenga, expressed worry that cases of teenage pregnancies are increasing every year. Mr. Mfulwe was speaking at the Adolescent and Young People 2023 conference organized by Adaptive Leadership Zambia, ALZ. Chaibu Nkoma covered the event.
It may look like just as a funny social gathering with a lot of entertainments, but there is something important being communicated, and that is an intervention aimed at reducing high numbers of HIV and sexually transmitted infections, STIs, among the adolescents.
We have seen what is happening among the adolescents today and the young people. Some of you, for example, last year you may be aware that by the end of the year, we had about close to about 12,600 plus teenage pregnancies, just in Northwestern Province. Now, this is November. Just by September, January to September, we have beat the record for 2022. We had about 13,000 plus. So this is an increase. Now, what to know at the end of the year? Where are we going?
Agatha Ndalamei is Adaptive Zambia National Coordinator and explains more.
So what we hope to get from these conferences is provide young people with information that they can use and also education on the sexual reproductive health. For this particular set of conferences, we are targeting to reach about 2,500 AYPs in a day. And that's a very significant number of us. And we hope these young people get the teachings that they get from here and spread them out in their communities.
The youth shares their experience.
From what we have learned, it's going to help us in reducing HIV infections and also reduction in the drug and substance abuse.
Solwezi District focal point person for adolescent health has this to say.
And then we are encouraging the parents also. Please take interest. Come through to our spaces and see the services that we give. Because most of you have got a wrong impression of the healthy, youth-friendly spaces that we have.
Reporting for Zanis News, I'm Chaibu Nkoma in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
In empowerment, social cash transfer recipients in Indy District have expressed gratitude to government for providing them with funds which have transformed their livelihoods. One of the beneficiaries, Eileen Katungu, says she has managed to build a house and now able to look after her grandchildren. We take a look at this report by Frederick Mwanawasa.
The Social Cash Transfer Program in Indy is assisting in the reduction of poverty and the promotion of productivity. Irene Katungu of Kaengu Chiefdom narrates how she used her money.
Mani sikufeza kuya handu yale ni mazenki. Akumuka nikalekile kasari kakainya.
mashere nga social welfare. Senili nisike na achafela. Nileke fateni kakomo. Una nikushwa. Banabaka wakasira pakakomo.
Generally Kumbi made an investment in small livestock.
Omtawolele chimbongo haze. Papo tukenda kulanda ndamo byakulya. Kakapambu zetu ashinganyekele. Gwe tukanda tulanda ka byakulya. Tuwane mukamo na tulikafa natwo hano yetu achembele. Kamuka taputukile takumbata kambongo kamo kutumbika. Hikulanda tupembe tungai. Tubali kachihwevo na kakomba. Kama twalande ngocho tupembe twatuhane bana. Kabaze bana kolo mukyo twalanje sangamo na kulandamo na watu wakulya na kulandamo tumalata ombana kuna kusemunina na kulandamo tumalata.
Anna Chikomba invested part of her money in a savings group.
Mama saving group mo ku savinga nga masherengi ange mwangohola nenifumani mwateni 4000. Awu funa bateni 4000 yeo nilekile mwateni mama mattress yaka nikule kama teni za kuitu safandu yaka. Then ngemwa this year chwana ni bulela fa. So ni kulaila kuli unomwa nikafumana mwateni 12000.
While others made an investment in agriculture. The district social welfare office says the program is successful in lifting the beneficiaries out of poverty.
Ever since the program started in 2014, there are a lot of positive things that we have noticed amongst our beneficiaries in Teji. To mention but a few, we have beneficiary households that have invested their money in buying livestock such as cattle, and some households from that cattle, others were starting with maybe one cow. Now they have multiplied, and that is, I would call it a milestone, given the amount of money that the beneficiaries are receiving.
Frederick Mwansa, Zanis, Teji.
Finally, in the news, Isoka District Commissioner Jairo Simbeye called for the concerted efforts from all stakeholders in combating disasters in the area. Mr. Simbeye was speaking during a workshop organized by World Vision aimed at orienting various heads of departments in the district on disaster risk response and management. Titani Zulu has the rest of the story.
In a continuous effort to manage and prepare disaster issues in Isoka District, World Vision conducted a 4-day disaster risk reduction training with Isoka District Disaster Management Committee members. The orientation will enable trainees to appropriately respond to emergencies that are likely to affect the district.
There are hazards that are occurring everywhere throughout this country, and Isoka is not an exception. We have reports of issues of floods, and the other years we have reports of issues of droughts. We also have reports of issues of rabies. We have reports, so it also hinges on the epidemic preparedness. Yeah, so all those issues are incorporated. And so that's why we thought it's important that we become coordinated as a team in Isoka and be able to respond to some of those emergencies.
And the Isoka District Commissioner, who was also in attendance during the training, implored all stakeholders in the district to get involved in disaster preparedness.
We don't want to stick to the top leadership of the district, but every leader, even at the traditional leaders, is something that it will add value, and we know what we'll be talking about. Any preparedness regarding disaster, if we're able to explain to it, everyone will be aware because of the sensitization that World Vision is able to give us. Even on our part, if we have this understanding, full understanding of this, the same disaster, understanding the hazards, understanding the preparedness of all these humanitarian affairs that affects us in the area, it's all up to the same management that we are able now to come up with the best solution in preparation for the same.
The workshop also addressed issues of climate change, which pose as one of the serious hazards that need to be responded to. Titani Zulu for Zanis in Isoka District.
That item brings us to the end of our news, but before we go, we look at the stories that made headlines. Government calls for reinforcement of security at Kansenseli Gold Mine. Chinsali Nakondo Road rehabilitation works progress. Luapula Province flags off distribution of desks. And Northwestern records over 13,000 teenage pregnancy cases. Thank you so much for watching. On behalf of Zanis' entire production team, I've been your presenter, Trust Bemba. For now, it's goodbye.